Master, I have been restless for days. Lately, I find myself involved in arguments and disagreements with almost everyone around me, with my family, my friends, even with strangers. I always end up feeling frustrated and exhausted. I don't understand why this keeps happening to me so often.
Sit with me and watch the river for a moment. What do you see?
I see water flowing, Master. Some rocks in the riverbed, leaves being carried by the current.
Observe how the water finds its way. When it encounters a rock, it doesn't stop to argue with it about who is right. It simply flows around it and continues its course. Water has no ego to defend. It doesn't cling to a particular shape. It takes the shape of the vessel that holds it, whether it's a cup, a lake, or this river.
I understand the metaphor, Master, but people are not like water. They have opinions, beliefs, and sometimes they say things that are clearly wrong. Isn't it my duty to correct them and defend the truth?
And who determines what is the truth? When you cling so tightly to your own ideas, you are feeding your ego. The ego is like a mirror that distorts reality. It makes you believe that your thoughts are superior, that your perspective is the only valid one. In the Tao, we practice Wu Wei, non-forced action. This does not mean passivity, but acting in harmony with the nature of things, without imposing our will.
But Master, just yesterday, a companion stated something that I knew for certain was wrong. I felt compelled to correct him. Should I have remained silent in the face of error?
Look at this leaf. When the wind blows, it does not resist. It lets itself be carried. But it is not weak. It simply recognizes when to yield and when to stand firm. Wisdom lies in discerning when to speak and when to remain silent. Ask yourself, do you correct to help the other or to satisfy your ego? Is it really important that everyone shares your view?
I had never seen it that way. Perhaps many times I argue not to help, but to prove I am right, to feel superior or validated.
The bamboo grows tall and strong, but bends with the wind instead of breaking. Its flexibility is its strength. In your interactions, true strength does not lie in conquering the other, but in maintaining harmony even in disagreement. When you free yourself from attachment to your ego, you discover that many battles do not need to be fought.
How can I practice this in my daily life, Master? Sometimes I feel like words leave my mouth before I can even reflect.
Begin by observing your reactions as if you were an external witness. When you feel the urge to contradict or correct, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened? Is it my ego that wants to speak? Conscious silence is a powerful Taoist practice. Remember that in the Tao we value harmony above being right. As the Tao Te Ching says, the sage does not show himself, and therefore he shines. He does not think himself important, and therefore he is significant. He does not praise himself, and therefore he endures.
I think I am beginning to understand, Master. My attachment to my own ideas and to my image is what creates conflict. It is as if every argument were a battle to defend my territory.
You have taken an important step. Now, practice detachment. When someone expresses a different opinion, instead of preparing your response while they speak, truly listen. Like the valley that receives all waters without discrimination, you do not need to label every idea as right or wrong. Simply let them be. Water is soft and flexible, but over time, it can erode even the hardest rock. That is the paradox of the Tao. What seems weak contains immense strength. When you stop fighting against the current of life, when you abandon the need to impose your ego, you discover a much deeper inner strength. Practice Wu Wei in your conversations. Do not force. Do not impose. Flow. Respond from inner calm, not from the reactivity of the ego. And remember that sometimes silence is the wisest answer.
Thank you, Master. Today I have learned that my conflicts are not outside but within me. I will try to observe my ego when it is triggered in discussions and practice detachment like the water that flows without resistance.
The path of the Tao is not walked in a day. There will be times when the ego takes control again, and that is okay. Observe it without judging yourself. Every discussion, every disagreement is an opportunity to practice. With time, you will discover that you can disagree with someone without creating conflict. You can express your truth without imposing it, and you can keep your center even when others lose theirs.